Here's my listing for the top 5 worst MCU TV shows. In at number 5, Moon Knight Season 1.
Moon Knight.
Unfortunately for me, this wasn't my kind of TV show. I get people might be turning around and going, oh, White Miss Marvel on there, or even you might not be a fan of the new Daredevil season. I haven't yet seen that one. And I haven't yet seen Agatha, the All of Darkness and whatever. But I have seen up to Echo, and I think that Moon Knight weren't my cup of tea. And every time I've gone back to watch it, I think episode 1 screams out like a motherfucker and goes, know what, I'm here to stay, I'm a great TV show. But then after that, the season seems to go downhill and you can't wait for the show to end. And that's how I felt. I've got nothing against the character of Moon Knight, it's just not my bag. We all have our favourite characters, and I think they probably did this character justice to what it was. I just don't believe this was my kind of TV show. Let us know down in the comments down below if you did think that this should be on the worst TV show listing. In at number 4, She-Hulk Season 1.
Jennifer Walters, attorney at law.
I think many of us can agree with this, surely. And I weren't on this train of this is going to be in my top 5 until you get to the end of the TV show where you have an episode which is that bad where you're just like, oh my god, this has got to be on the top 5. Literally, when they break the fourth wall, that killed it for me. And meeting Kevin Feige, which was a robot thing, and it was like, oh my god, they've literally murdered this entire plot. Don't get me wrong, it weren't red hot throughout the entire of that series. But when you got to the end and you think, oh, let's have a payoff, let's get it to where this might just be an average Marvel-ish show, but then it couldn't even deliver that, because as soon as you get that ending of the fourth wall breaking stuff, and she didn't want it to end that way and stuff, it was like, no, what are we doing? And I'm not sure if that's in the comic books. I'm not sure if that is something that happens in the comic books with She-Hulk. I know that's like a Deadpool kind of thing, but it worked for his character. He was funny, he was everything like that, but with her, it just didn't work. And consequently, that's why it ends up on this listing, because at first I was not on board of it being one of the greatest TV shows of all time, but I weren't on the boat of this is one of the worst neither. I was just sat in the middle thinking this is pretty average, but it's watchable. But then time you get to the end, it killed it for me. But do let us know, again, down in the comments down below, should She-Hulk be on the top 5 worst? Before we get onto the third position, do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button. That would go a massive way in helping this small channel grow to an even bigger height than what we currently are. And also hit that like button, that would be much appreciated. In at number 3, What If Season 2.
This kid puts on quite a show.
Many people might disagree with this, many people might agree with this. I think this single-handedly season, and I could say the whole What If thing could go in here, but I think Season 1 needs to separate itself from Season 2, because What If Season 1, I'm not a big fan of the What If as a whole, but Season 1 was somewhat what you'd expect from a What If season. It was different stories, going over the wildest ideas that you could imagine, like Marvel Zombies, and wild things like that. Season 2, on the other hand, just felt Captain Carter in this. Oh, what if Captain Carter did this? Or what if Captain Carter was this? And it just felt too much Captain Carter for me. Look, I didn't mind another episode on Captain Carter, but we didn't need another like 10 episodes on Captain Carter alone. It felt overused. It felt like, what are we doing? Because I don't think we needed that for Season 2. We needed more like Season 1. It was okay if you brought her back in 1 or 2 episodes, but it felt like every episode, unless it wasn't every episode, but it did feel that way, and I didn't enjoy What If Season 2. I'm not gonna lie there, but do let us know whether you agree with that, because I don't think What If Season 2 was that great. But again, let us know down in those comments down below. In at number 2, Secret Invasion Season 1.
Yeah, well, this is different.
Yeah, Secret Invasion was terrible, and I think it was pretty unwatchable. And I think it was boring from the get-go, from Season 1, from Episode 1, all the way up to the very end, and was one of the hardest TV shows out the MCU ones to actually physically watch, because it was boring, it was stale, and I don't think there was much that like Samuel Jackson or Olivia Colman, who were 2 of the biggest names in this particular show, could do anything about. It was pretty dead, it was terrible, and this whole Skrulls thing, every time they're used seems to fail. Captain Marvel, the Marvels, and this one, the whole Skrulls idea doesn't seem to work in the MCU. Whether they're massive in the comics, I don't read the comics, so I can't say. But on screen, I don't think they've worked at all to what they should have done from what you hear about them being in the comics. I think that Secret Invasion, this whole thing of Rhodey not being Rhodey for the past like 2 phases was a stupid idea as well, because it's like, it made no sense. There were several other things that made no sense. I just don't think it's an enjoyable TV show the slightest. In at number 1, Echo Season 1.
You have so much pain in you.
And many people might disagree with my pick for first place, but my pick for first place is Echo Season 1 because of the anticipation beforehand after watching Hawkeye Season 1 and what that character of Echo could actually do. It seemed to be like the promise that we got delivered from what we saw in Hawkeye was not met at all in a standalone Echo show, which was disappointing because I really wanted to see how this character could go on in this sort of like secondary character turned main character sort of role, and it just didn't work the slightest. I don't know if it's because it was culturally different to what we saw in Hawkeye Season 1, but saying that, I've seen cultural TV shows before, like Miss Marvel, that did it fantastically well, and people might disagree with that, but I thought that whole culture stuff in Miss Marvel just worked, and I got behind that. Sort of like the cultural stuff in Moon Knight didn't sit well with me, like we mentioned earlier, but I think this cultural stuff in Echo Season 1 of the sort of like ancient Indian sort of vibe, I just don't understand it personally, so I couldn't get behind that sort of angle and getting to know this story. But it's not just that, it's the fact that you're having this basic idea of Echo going after Kingpin and having all these other distractions, and it's just feeling like a show which just had too much going on and just didn't work. And it came across as really boring, if I'm being honest. And on that same level, the boredom as Secret Invasion. I think Echo Season 1's first episode was better, but there was nothing interesting after episode 1, really, that took the show and ran with it. So in my opinion, I would say Echo Season 1 is the worst MCU TV show so far. But just to add on to that, I haven't yet seen Agatha Season 1 or What If Season 3 or the new Daredevil one. So bear with, because we may have to do an updated list later down the line. But do let us know your thoughts down in the comments down below, what you thought of this top 5. Is it more of what you want to see in these top 5s and stuff on the channel? And also do let us know down in the comments down below, what are your top 5 worst MCU TV shows? And if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget, if you ain't watched this video on screen, then go check this out.